In this video, I will illustrate how to state your hypothesis when you're comparing the averages between two entities. We will use basketball as an example, using Michael Jordan and Wilt Chamberlain, the two highest scorers in the history of basketball, as examples. If you were to recall, you would know that Michael Jordan on average scored 30.12 points in each game, and Chamberlain averaged around 30.06 points per game. And if you were to compare the two averages between Michael Jordan and Chamberlain, and even though they are very similar looking numbers, we need to set up a statistical hypothesis testing. We are interested in comparing the average points scored by the two basketball players, and the comparison of means or averages is available in three flavors. First, we can assume that the average points per game scored by the two players, Jordan and Chamberlain, are the same. That is, the difference between their mean scores is zero. If the averages are the same, so average of one minus average of other should be zero. And this becomes our null hypothesis. Let's say if mu subscript j, represents the average points per game scored by Michael Jordan, and mu subscript c represents the average points per game scored by Wilt Chamberlain, we can state the null hypothesis to be mu j equal mu c. That is, the average scored by Jordan and average scored by Chamberlain are the same. And the alternative hypothesis would be that no, these averages are not the same. They're different. So the alternative hypothesis, H subscript A, compared to null hypothesis, H subscript 0 or O, the alternative is that the averages are not the same. Their average scores are different. Now the other option, the second option, is to assume that Jordan scored better or higher. And in that case, our null hypothesis is the average score by Michael Jordan is greater than or equal to the average scored by Wilt Chamberlain. And in this particular case, the alternative hypothesis would be different. It wouldn't be not equal to, but it would be less than. So the alternative would be that the average scored by Jordan is less than that by Wilt Chamberlain. And by the same account, our third option would be that the null hypothesis is that in fact Jordan scored less than Wilt Chamberlain, and the alternative hypothesis will be the reverse of it, saying that no, Michael Jordan scored higher than Wilt Chamberlain. So in a nutshell, we have three options. We can say the averages are the same, and the null would be no, they're not the same, not equal. We can say the average is less than. The null is that Jordan's average is higher than Chamberlain, and the alternative would be the reverse of it. And the third option is to say that the average scored by Jordan is less than average scored by Chamberlain, and the reverse of it will be the alternative hypothesis. So, three ways of defining a hypothesis.